Hello you, my name is Tom and welcome to my yoga channel. I'm so stoked that you have decided to start your new year doing yoga. Yoga has so many benefits. A lot of them are physical benefits, but as you will learn, I hope, as you start doing yoga this year, you'll find out that your mind and almost like your spirit, your sense of energy, the sense of well-being in the world will also reap a lot of rewards. So we're going to start nice and slow to just see where we're at, and then we'll slowly stretch deeper and deeper. By the end of the class, I hope that you're going to feel fantastic, and I hope that it inspires you to keep going with your yoga for the rest of the year. Thank you once again for being here, and let's get to it. To begin with, just make yourself comfortable. So ground down into a nice seated position like I'm in today. Sometimes you might find that your hips are a little tight. I find that when I have done a lot of running or if I have been sitting all day. So if you're finding that your hips are feeling tight here or it doesn't feel quite comfortable, like you've got to strain yourself to sit up, then please take a brick or a cushion or a book or a pillow and sit up onto it to raise your hips up, and that will alleviate that feeling. Then rest your hands on your knees or in your lap or at your heart center, and just take a moment to settle into a seated pose, and we're just going to be here for 10 deep breaths in and out. And it's really a moment to check in and see how you're feeling and see what your body and your mind and your spirit and your energy is up to at the moment. So without any judgment, just make yourself comfortable and let your shoulders relax, let your neck soften. And take a big breath into your belly and up into your chest. Feel your belly poke out, your chest expand in a 3D way. And as you exhale, just sigh out of your mouth. And feel your body soften. Feel the muscles around your face soften. Muscles on your forehead soften. Feel any muscles that are feeling tight soften. Let's do that 2 more times. So breathing in, feeling the belly poke out, the chest expand in a 3D way. And exhale out of the mouth with a sigh. Keep softening. Final breath in that manner, breathing in and sighing out. Good, and then if you feel comfortable doing so, just close your mouth and start to breathe through your nostrils. And see if you can poke your belly out again, breathe into your chest. Hold the breath for just a second and exhale out through the nostrils and empty your lungs of air. On your next breath in, imagine you're doing a bit of a scan of your body. So scanning all the way from the top of your head down to the tips of your fingers and toes, breathing in, scanning down, and noticing if there's any tightness or tension there. And as you exhale, see if you can soften it. If you're feeling any tightness or tension, just soften. Imagine that your muscles are loosening, melting, relaxing, softening. We're halfway now, so 5 more breaths. Just breathe it in. And exhale out to soften. Good. We've got 4 more breaths left. I just want you to focus on your mind now and just notice what's been going on for you in this moment or recently. Is there something that you've been fixated on? Is it positive or negative? Is there something that is stressing you out maybe? Or has got you excited? And see if you can just notice what that thought or where that feeling is kind of coming from. Does it come from a place in your head? Like, does it feel like it resonates in your head? Does it feel like it resonates in your heart? I know sometimes when I feel anxious, for example, I feel it in my shoulders, or when I feel fear, I feel it in my chest. So just whatever you're feeling right now, just notice where that's coming from. And take 2 final breaths here and just let that space, let that feeling expand. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You want to block it out normally, right? But try to let that space be what it is, be it positive or negative. And just take your final 2 breaths in and out here. One more. Good, and then open your eyes and just start to shake your wrists out. The reason why we tune into those feelings or those sensations in yoga is because it helps us kind of understand that the thoughts and the emotions that we're having, eventually if you practice this enough, it helps you realize that the thoughts and the emotions that you're having are separate to the person that you are. There is the person that you are, there's your soul and your spirit. You can think of that in a religious sense if you want, I don't personally. And then there's the things that come into our lives, be that physical pain or tightness or tension or thoughts or emotions that stress us out or get us excited, but they don't make up who we are in our souls. So that's why we kind of focus on it, to understand that and to understand that eventually we have a choice as to where we act from. You can act from those emotions, you can act from that soreness or that tightness in your mind or in your body, or you can act from that space that doesn't involve any of that stress or tension. Anyway, that's a yoga philosophy lesson. We won't go more into that today. And we're just going to place our hands onto our knees and just circle our shoulders and see how the shoulders are feeling. There's a big joint there. It's rotator cuffs. There's shoulder girdles. Which are these things here. Let's rotate the other way, and we've got our shoulder blades as well. And this space can get pretty tight. So just notice how it's feeling for you today. Go as slow or as fast as you want. And then from here, we're just going to relax those shoulders down. And from here, I want you to circle your nose and draw a spiral. So just circling the nose in one direction, going as big or as small as you want to go. Keep breathing. And once you feel like you've reached your limit, circle back the other way and make your spiral smaller and smaller. Big breath in and big breath out. Good. When you're ready, bring your hands to your side. As you inhale, stretch your arms out to extend your arms in all directions, and then reach them all the way up, stretching into the sides of the body as you extend up. And as you extend down, as you breathe out, I want you to extend out to the sides and bring your hands down. That's it. Let's do that 2 more times. Relax your shoulders as your arms drop down. Inhale, breathing up, reaching and stretching as high as you can. And breathing out, stretching down. Good. And just notice how you feel as you do that. Breathing in, lifting up. Do you feel tight? Do you feel loose? Does your neck hurt? What's coming up for you? And exhale down. And hopefully by the end of the class, you'll notice that difference. And that's the most satisfying thing in yoga. Inhale, sweep your arms forward this time. You feel a different stretch in your shoulders. Exhale, float your hands down. Tap the window behind you. And one more like that, breathing in, lifting up. And this time as you exhale, I want you to twist to your left. So bring your right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you, and see if you can draw your chin in towards your neck and look over your left shoulder. Good. Feel that stretch in your side body and in your shoulders, and take 2 deep breaths in and out here. Relax your shoulders, one more. Relax your shoulders. And then come back to center, sweep both arms up. And exhale to the other side. 2 breaths, relax the shoulders. Big breath in to the belly, into the chest, exhale out. And one more. Good, come back to center, sweep both arms up. And this time, just float your hands all the way down and try to soften as you do so. Just letting go of that strength and the force that you were using before. Cool. If you've got a brick underneath you or something underneath you, just move it out of the way. And from here, we're going to rock ourselves forward into a tabletop position. So just come onto your hands and your knees and just start by pressing down into your hands and making sure they're under your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. Lift your back body up towards the ceiling or the sky. and just start to circle your shoulders, like rotate them around your wrists. We're just warming the wrists up. And if you can, try to get into the habit of pressing down into your knuckles and your fingers rather than the heel of the hand. This will protect your wrist. And then circle the opposite way. Keep your back body lifted. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Good. Come back to a neutral position. From here, we're going to start by tucking the toes under, dropping the belly down, opening the chest up and letting it shine forward as you gently lift your chin. And as you exhale, start by rolling the hips up to the ceiling, lifting the back up to the ceiling, and tucking your chin in. So rounding your back up to the ceiling into a cat position. Inhale, drop the belly down first. Let those hips drop. Open your chest up, feel the stretch in your belly. Lift the chin. And exhale, come into that cat position. So we're always starting with the hips. Let's do 2 more like that. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last one. Focus on your breath here. Drop the belly down. Open the chest up. Feel the stretch. And exhale, curling the spine the other way. Nice. From here, bring your right leg back behind you. Move the heel forwards and backwards and just stretch into the back of your leg. Make sure that your hamstring feels okay. And then have a go at extending your left arm out in front of you. And before you lift your right leg up off the floor, we're going to come into a balance. Press down into your right hand, your left knee, and your left foot. So pressing down right hand, left knee, left foot. And extend that right leg up. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Round your back to the ceiling, just like in that cat position, and bring your elbow and your knee together. Good. 2 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it together. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bring it together. Good. And then drop your limbs down to the floor. Step your left leg back. And just move your heel forwards and backwards. I'm right foot dominant, so I find that my left leg always feels tighter. But what do you feel? Which side feels tighter for you? When you're ready, lift that right arm up and lift the left leg up. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Again, you're not just bringing the elbow and knee together, you're rounding your back to the ceiling and then bringing your elbow and your knee together. And then inhale to extend. And exhale, bring it together. And inhale to extend. And exhale, bring it together. Good, and then bring it down onto the floor, release the limbs, bring the knees wide, the feet together. And from here, we're going to bring our hips back towards our heels. Nice. And I want you to walk your hands out as far in front of you as you can while keeping your hips grounded. Just drop your chest down. Relax your shoulders and take 3 breaths. And as you sit here, maybe just have a think about what inspired you to choose to do a yoga class today. Is there something that brought that interest on? Is there a part of you that has perhaps decided to start the new year doing more exercise or committing to yoga or committing more time to yourself? There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious what led you here today. And I wonder what it's going to take for you to get into the mindset where you feel inspired to keep going with that goal. Sometimes it helps us to feel grounded in where we are and what we're doing. So we're going to come back to that later, but I just want you to consider that for now. And for our next yoga posture, press into your feet, your knees, your hands, and on your next inhale, I want you to circle your torso up and over your left wrist. So as you breathe in, you're curling your body up, bringing your torso up and over your left wrist. And as you exhale, we're going to circle the torso and the hips all the way back to the left and down. So we're kind of going to draw a half moon shape. with our body. So you inhale, lifting up and over to the right wrist, and exhale, circling back down. And know that the bigger you draw this shape with your body, the more you're going to feel that juicy stretch in the side of your body, which is where we're aiming for. I feel it in my hip. I've got a bit of an injury there. So I feel it in that spot, but it's so nice to stretch it at the same time. Let's go nice and relative for what you need right now. Oh, there's that hip. Yoga with an injury. That's a class I need to do. But how broad is that topic, eh? Yoga with a hip injury. Let's do one more on each side. And last one. That's it. Good. Come back to that neutral position, and from here press into the tops of your toes. I don't like doing this any more than most people. We're going to do some core stuff, which is not fun, but we need it. We need it to support ourselves. And we need it to support this practice that we're going to go into, hopefully, for the rest of the year. So press into your hands, press into the knuckles again, rather than the heel of the hand, and just step your legs back into a plank pose. Let's just take 3 deep breaths here. That's all we'll do for this moment. Just breathe it in, and as you exhale, engage the thigh muscles, engage the muscles of the belly, lift your back up to the ceiling, the space between your shoulders up to the ceiling. Take 2 more breaths. And after the exhale, drop your knees to the floor, move your shoulders beyond the wrists, just bend your elbows close to your body, bring yourself down onto your belly and your torso. Nice. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press into your feet. As you inhale, imagine that someone's pulling your elbows backwards and you're trying to touch your elbows down to the floor. Imagine you're trying to bring your elbows on the ground. So there's that drawing back sensation. This brings the shoulders out of the neck. And as you inhale, lift your chest up. Draw those elbows down to the floor. And as you exhale, lower down. Let's do 2 more like that. Breathing in, lifting up. Draw those elbows down. You feel the stretch in the neck and the shoulders. And exhale down. Same thing on this last one, but this time I want you to reach your chest forward as well. So as you inhale, lift yourself up and then reach your chest forward. Like imagine someone's drawing the center of your chest forward. Can you feel that stretch in the backs of your shoulders? That's what we're going for. And exhale, lower down. Good job. Tuck your toes under. Inhale up into a plank or a tabletop. And exhale back to your first down dog. Nice and slow. Bend the knees. Once you get there, just start to walk your dog left to right. Notice what it feels like to stretch into those hamstrings. Keep your arms and your shoulders broad and away from your ears. And just relax your head. Do a couple of yeses and nos. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift our hips and our heels upwards. So lift your heels off the floor, lift your hips up. And as you exhale, bend your knees a little bit and ground your heels down. Draw your chest towards your thighs. Inhale, lift your heels up, lift your hips up, and exhale, ground down. 2 more. Inhale, lifting up. Find that big breath and exhale, ground down. And last one, big breath in and big breath out. Good. Then lift your left leg up, breathing in. And hold here. See if you can press the heel back rather than the toes. Just make sure as you look back at that left leg that your toes are pointing to the ground. Take another big breath in. Another slow breath out. And then inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to step the left foot forward to the top of the mat. Drop your back knee to the floor. Flatten the back foot out on the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, we're going to drop the hips down just a little bit. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, drop those hips down. So just gently doing dynamic stretches. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, lowering down. And for this last one, inhale, reach up. And then bring your left hand onto your hip and reach your right arm over to the left side. You should feel a nice stretch in the right side of the body. Just take 2 deep breaths in and out here. One more, keep reaching up through that hand. Find that nice line of stretch from the right knee to the right fingers. Good, and then inhale, sweep both arms up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down, reach them forward, 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 and onto the floor. Plant your right hand down, sweep your left arm up. So you're coming into a bit of a twist. See if you can turn your left hand to face the top of your mat. That's it. Take one more big breath in. And exhale, float that hand down to the floor. Good, then tuck those right toes under. And from here, we're going to sweep our left leg back into a 3-legged down dog. So as you breathe in, lift that left leg back, reach it all the way behind you, and bring the foot down onto the floor. We're just going to change sides. So inhale, lift that right leg up, and hold here. Make sure the toes are pointing down to the floor. Take 2 full breaths in and out. If you want, keep a little bend in that left leg. And then take one more big breath in. And as you exhale, step the right foot to the top of the mat. Drop the left knee to the ground. I've got an awkward phone in my pocket recording audio. I'm going to move that. And then when you're ready, you can sweep your arms up to the ceiling, breathing in. As you exhale, just notice if you feel a difference in this left hip as you sink your hips down. My left side is definitely tighter. Inhale, reaching up, lifting up, and exhale, sinking down. One more, breathing in. And exhale, sink down. Nice. Then inhale, lift your arms up. And from here, bring your right hand onto your right hip. Reach that left arm up and over. Just breathe into the left side of your body. Find the stretch from that left knee to your left fingers. 2 more breaths. Feel that strength in your arms and your legs. 1 more. And then inhale, sweep both arms up. And as you exhale, float your hands down. Good. From here, plant your left hand onto the inside of that right foot. Sweep your right arm up. Big breath in. Big breath out. Try to turn your palm to face the front of the mat. One more. And then float your right hand down onto the mat. Nice. Step that right leg back into your 3-legged down dog, breathing in. And just hold here. And take a big breath in before you drop that right leg down and come into your regular down dog. Good, so we've done a lot of strength and holding exercises. So now just bend your knees left to right. Make sure those hamstrings feel okay. And just take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, can you bend your knees just a little bit and think of reaching your hips to the back of your mat. So press into your hands to do that. Reach those hips back. Good, hold there. And see if you can close your eyes and just tune inwards again. And breathe into the strength and that sense of stableness that you have here. And take 2 more breaths here. And maybe this pose is quite hard for you. Maybe it's a bit straining. Just see if you can hold here and breathe through it for this last inhale. And a slow exhale. Good. And then inhale yourself forward into a plank. And from here, lower yourself down. Use your knees if you need to. Come all the way down onto your belly and onto your chest. Nice. And from here, we're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders. And again, see if we can glue our elbows down towards the floor. So to move the muscles from the neck and the ears away from, from the neck and the shoulders away from each other. That's what we're striving to do. Then keeping that separation and that distance in the muscles of your ears and your shoulders. I want you to take your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and reach your arms back so you're stretching your shoulders away from the muscles in your neck. Can you feel that? Good. Squeeze the shoulders together. Imagine you've got like a walnut between your shoulders and you're trying to crush it. Can you see how, and can you feel how that reaches and stretches your chest forward? How when you bring those shoulders together, your chest kind of pushes and reaches forward. That's kind of what we're going for, because we're trying to stretch and create curvature in the upper spine. So keep reaching those arms backwards and keep reaching your chest forward, squeezing that walnut. Press down into your feet. And as you inhale, just look down at the floor. Try not to lift your chin. Just look down at the floor and gently lift your chest up a little higher. So you're curling your back up off the ground. And just hold there. Your lowest rib should be touching the floor. Keep reaching your arms back. Take 3 deep breaths. Keep squeezing the walnut between your shoulders. 2 more. One more. Good, and then gently release down, release your hands, and from here, press into those hands, tuck the toes under, lift up into a tabletop position. And as you exhale, cross your ankles over and come into a seat. We've got our last little sequence here. We're going to extend our legs out and I'm just going to do some, they call flossing of the nerves. I don't know how scientifically accurate that is, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to floss the nerves. So what I want you to do, and to be honest, I have done this and it has been called this at my physio, so fingers crossed that there's a shred of accuracy to the phrase. What I want you to do is try and sit up comfortably. If you sit up and you find that your back is arching or it's quite challenging, take that brick pillow or cushion or book underneath you and sit yourself up. There you go. And then from here, just bring your hands beside you, beside your hips, and press them down into the floor. And draw your toes back towards you. Try to straighten your legs. You do that by engaging your thighs. And as you exhale, point the toes. 2 more. Inhale, draw those toes back. This is flossing the nerves. And exhale, point the toes. 2 more. Find your breath. And 1 more. And exhale. Good. The last kind of area that we haven't stretched today is our lower back. It's the lower back, it's the space around the hips, and that's what we're going to do now, and then we'll wrap up the class. So what I want you to do is either remove that book, brick, cushion or pillow from underneath you and sit down on the floor, and then draw your left leg in towards your right thigh so that your left foot is against your right thigh. Keep those right toes pulling towards you. That straightens your hamstring and extends into it. If you point the toes, you can feel it relax, right? And then I want you to sweep your arms up, big breath in. And because it's it might be the first yoga class of the year, I want you to just gently bring your left hand onto your left leg, your right arm onto the outside of your left leg. So you're turning your torso to the left, and gently lower your belly towards your thigh. So not your chest towards your thigh, but your belly towards your thigh. And when you feel a stretch in your lower back, that's where I want you to stop. I just want you to take 5 deep breaths in and out here. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you keep them open. Whatever you choose to do, try to tune into what you're feeling. On the inhale, imagine that you're breathing space into your muscles. And on the exhale, imagine that you're relaxing the muscles. Inhale, space. Exhale, relax. 2 more breaths. Nice and gentle. Good. And after that last little exhale, I want you to take your right hand onto your left leg. And this time you're just bringing your belly down directly onto your right thigh, so you're folding forward. Let's take a big breath in, lift your chest a little taller. And as you exhale, again, not bringing the chest to the thigh, but bring the belly to the thigh. So if you think about it, if we bring our chest to the thigh, we're not really stretching into that lower back. Whereas if we bring that belly down, we totally are. If that doesn't make sense, let me know in the comment section below. I know that's a cliche thing to say, but I'm very happy to explain. I just don't want to over talk in these classes. And so for now, just feel that stretch. And take 3 more breaths here. As you inhale, expand into the muscle. And as you exhale, soften into the muscle, or soften the muscle. Good. And when you're ready, press down into that foot. Just lift yourself up. And from here, we're going to take our left leg and we're just moving that left foot and the left leg a little further back. So we're creating more distance between the right leg and the left foot. So before we were like that, we're just sliding it back. This time we're going to fold through the center, and it's pretty normal not to come too far down here. So just take a moment to breathe in and lift up. And as you exhale, try to bring your belly button down onto that left foot. That's what you're going for. Take one hand onto that right leg. Take your left hand onto your left knee. Try to keep that right thigh engaged, left toes pulling back. And just breathe here. Notice what you're working with. My resolution for this year is to reconnect to doing more yoga for me. I've been teaching for a really long time, or what feels like a really long time. And I've just found that in that time, I find myself attending or doing yoga classes and just thinking about trying, I'm just always thinking about, oh, that would be great for my class. I love that. Rather than tuning inwards. And it's just not that enjoyable when you practice yoga like that. So for this year, I'm just going to try and just become a little bit more aware of that and try and focus on finding my own spiritual connection to yoga again, reconnecting again. Because it's really important to me, and I truly believe in the benefits that yoga brings, because my life has changed since I've started doing it, and I hope that your life will change too. Just take one more big breath in here, and again, exhale, just soften a little bit. Just relax, let go, let that stress, let that tension ease off, and when you're ready, lift yourself up. And I'm going to change sides because I like facing forward. You ready? Extend your left leg out, bring your right foot into your left thigh. And inhale, lift your arms up. And as you exhale, bring your right hand onto your left leg, your left hand to your left side. And you bring your belly down onto that left thigh. And you should feel a stretch in the right side of your lower back. 5 breaths. But yeah, I wonder if you ask yourself what your resolution is or what you're kind of striving for. If you ask yourself why it is that you're striving for that, what is the answer? I work in marketing and advertising a lot, and one of the techniques, which isn't a yoga technique, but I think it's a great technique, that we ask clients when we don't really understand what they are after, is why. And you ask them that 5 times. So it'll give you 4 sets of answers. They'll give you an answer and you ask them why. They give you the second answer, you ask them why. As you keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper. And eventually you get to like a core reason, like the fact that someone is wanting to market their product might be because they want a better life for their kids And then once you find out what that motivator is, once you dive into that deeper detail, you realize that's a pretty strong motivator. If you are advertising or if you're doing something for a core value reason of yours, then you're more likely to stick to it. So you might want to try that this year. I think that's been 5 breaths. When you're ready, just bring that left hand to your right leg, left hand to your left leg. So both hands are on that leg now. And as you inhale, lift your chest up. And as you exhale, reach your chest forward. And drop your chin down. And just breathe. And I challenge you now, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around. If you're still here, I challenge you now, and it's really hard to do the first couple of times, maybe even for the first year that you start to do this, but afterwards it's got so many benefits. I challenge you to forget everything I've just said, forget everything that you're thinking about in this moment, and bring yourself to your breath. It sounds really like voodoo, or paganistic to be like, focus on your breath. That's where the essence of the truth lies. But trust that focusing on your breath is something that is like primally good for you, and that breathing properly is going to make a massive difference to your life. I wholeheartedly believe that with every single part of me. And so in this moment, just drop everything. Just find that stretch in your body again. And just take a big breath into your belly and into your chest and feel all of your body moving as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel all of your body moving as the air leaves you. And just notice how calming that is. Let's do that 2 more times. You don't have to do this forever. It's just about understanding and becoming aware of that feeling. Breathing in, feel your body moving, feel your belly and your lungs expand. Breathing out. Notice that shift. Good. And then when you're ready, you can press into that leg, those arms, lift yourself up. And then move your right leg just away from you. Just create a bit more distance between that right side and that left side. And plant down into your feet. And from here, just take a big breath in. You're going to bring your belly button towards that foot. We're almost there. This is the third to last stretch. Third to last asana. Just fold yourself down and breathe. Tune inwards. You take 2 more breaths here, just focusing in, noticing that subtle change in how your body moves on the inhale and on the exhale. Alrighty, when you're ready, gently press into your feet and lift yourself up. And from here, we're going to straighten both legs again. We're just going to come into that flossing position that we were in and just floss a couple more times. So as you inhale, draw those toes back, press down into your hands. And as you exhale, point your toes. This pose is called Dandasana, or staff pose. Inhale, draw your toes back. And exhale, point your toes. Good. When you're ready, plant your feet down onto the floor. And now, because we've been stretching our lower back, we've been stretching the legs as well, but also into our lower back, what you might find is that as you come down in a moment, there's a little bit of tension there. Just trust me that if you sit in it just for a while, it's going to go away. From here, bring your hips towards your heels. like so. And then I want you to think of rolling your spine down onto the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. It'll feel awkward with your hands and your elbows getting in the way. Your back might crack a little bit, like mine just did. Just come all the way down, nice and easy. And you just move your hands forward as you come all the way onto the floor. There you go. Just rest here. Try not to move your body. Try to resist bringing the knees into the chest. It's actually extending what we've just done. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Take slow exhales out of your nostrils. And really try and soften your body on that physical level. One more. Good. And for our last pose, we're going to bring our hands beside our heels, and we're just going to inhale and gently lifting up from the hips, roll into a bridge pose. So press down into your feet and your hands and lift your hips up off the floor and roll your spine up into a bridge pose, breathing into the belly and the chest as you lift up. And as you lower down, roll your spine down vertebrae by vertebrae from the neck to the hips. Or rather, as you exhale, roll your spine down. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhaling, lifting up from the hips, squeezing the glutes, coming up onto those shoulders. And exhale, rolling down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. You can do that 1 more time. Breathing in, lifting up. Stretching the front body and lowering down. Good, and then bring your knees into your chest just gently. Circle them a couple of times. And from here, we're just going to extend our legs out and do 10 final breaths in Shavasana. And this is like the pose where this is a pose. It feels like you're just lying down, but it's a moment where you can tune in and just notice the effects that the practice has had on your body. If when you extend your legs out, you feel tension in your lower back, and bend your knees and bring your feet flat on the floor. I'm feeling that today, so that's what I'm going to do, but you listen to your body. And then take your left hand onto your heart, your right hand onto your belly. Let's just start with those 3 exhales out of the mouth to soften. So breathe in through your nostrils. And breathe out of your mouth with a sigh. Feels good, hey? 2 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathe in the biggest breath you've taken all day. So really let your belly and your chest expand. And breathe out. You can keep doing those breaths if they feel great for you. I totally encourage that. Otherwise, if you're comfortable doing so, breathe through your nostrils. This kind of just helps ground you down a little bit. And I want you to do another scan of your body all the way from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers and toes. And you're scanning for tension, for tightness, for soreness. And if there's any lasting sensation of that kind, then try to soften it as you exhale. Try to relax it as you exhale. And I hope that you can notice and feel that your body is a little bit different to what it was when you started the class. And next, just focus on your breath. And bring your awareness and your attention to your mind and your thoughts and your emotions, and notice if you feel a shift, and hopefully you do from the start of the class. Just allow yourself to drift off. To let go. float away. Just take your final 2 breaths in and out here. And if there's a mantra or a saying or a feeling that you want to set for yourself for this coming year, now's the time to do it. So just breathe in whatever you're feeling right now. My mantra right now is feeling like, and you can say this too if you'd like, you can do this. So that's where what I'm gonna say in my mind. Good, and if you'd like, you can stay here, just keep breathing into it, keep enjoying how you feel, or you can stretch your fingers and your toes, circle your wrists and your ankles, and just on a breath in, reach your arms and your legs back behind you, and then bring yourself to a seated position at the top of your mat. Make yourself comfortable again, and from here, ground down into your sitting bones, your base. And let's just finish the practice with 3 breaths of meditation. So we're going to close our eyes or soften our gaze and look at the floor and just tune inwards to the feeling of that inhale and the exhale again. And if you want to repeat that mantra or that saying to yourself, then go for it as well. Take 3 deep breaths. Alrighty. I just want to say that if there's anyone that can do it, it's you. And I have faith in you, and I know that you can achieve what you want to achieve this year. And I wish you all the best with it, and I hope that I can be a part of that journey with these yoga classes. I'm going to try and release them every week, and it would really help me if you subscribe to the channel, share the channel, comment, just make a fuss over the button section down low, because it actually helps. And it helps me move towards doing more of this in my life, which is what I want to do this year. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for choosing to come onto the mat, and thank you for finishing this class. You are awesome. I'm proud of you, and I know you got this. Namaste.